Welcome to Narc Abuse No More, where we're here to help educate you about narcissistic abuse because your feelings do matter. Hi, and welcome to another podcast of Narc Abuse No More with your host, Dr. and Evangelist. KL Rich, thanks for tuning in today. Today is Monday. Yes, it is Monday, January the 30th of 2023. I pray that you've had a blessed, stress-free, narcissistic-free, abuse-free week so far, and that the remainder of this week will continue to be so as well. But if not, we're going to be talking about a few things today. Again, my name is Dr. K.O. Rich with Narc Abuse No More, where we're here to help you admit what you feel in order to heal from the effects of narcissistic abuse, because your feelings do matter. Yes, they do. But before we go on with today's podcast, I would like to invite you to visit us on our website at www.narcabusenomore.org. Again, that website address is www.narcabusenomore.org, or you can type in narcissisticabusenomore.com, narcissisticabusenomore.com, and on our website you'll find valuable information regarding narcissism, relationships. If you have missed any of these podcasts, you will be able to listen to us from there. Now, just to let you know, we are on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Central on SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Play, iTunes, Castbox, and Deezer. We're also on the Tube, that's YouTube, Rumble, Brighteon, and it's another one I'm missing. I just forgot. Rumble, Brighteon, YouTube, and it's some other platform I can't think of. But anyway, Amazon Audible, that's right. Amazon Audible. So you have a variety of different platforms to listen to us from, so you could choose whichever one is convenient for you. Now, I want to let you know within the next few weeks, we're going to be, it should not affect you all at all, but we're going to be updating website because we're changing hosting. Our hosting platform, so we're changing companies with that, but you will still be able to go to the narcabusenomore.org, and you will see that it's going to be updated. So that's within the next few weeks, so look forward to that. And also I will be having in-person counseling. So for those of you who may be in the Georgia area and you're needing counseling, because I am a pastoral counselor, you will be able to have that in-person counseling. Right now it will be for just women and children only at this time, or families as a whole, so women, children, and families as a whole. But I look forward to that, and that's going to be taking place, and I will keep you updated as to when that will begin. All right, so what are we talking about today? Today we are talking about narcissistic bullies, and that's with adults and children. So narcissistic bullying of adults and children. And there are so many people that are bullies, narcissists. Anybody that's an abuser, they actually bully you. The people don't often put the two and two together, okay? But a narcissist is an emotional bully, a physical bully, a verbal bully, spiritual bullies. They're bullies. They try to dominate and intimidate their targets, their victims. So I want to talk today about bullying, some characteristics of bullying. And if you have children, then this is something that even you need to talk to your children about, rather prevent them from being the victim of bullying or the aggressor. Many times when someone grows up in an abusive household, they will normally take on rather be the aggressor for us being an actual abuser themselves, or they may be the recipient of being abused. So normally one or the other is going to happen. Then you will have some that just saying, you know what, I'm not going to take the abuse from nobody. And that's a good thing, because they'll say, oh, I saw my mother be abused, or I saw my father be abused, and I'm just not going to have it. And that right there is great. But oftentimes they fall into rather they're the aggressor or the recipient of, and you don't want your children, if you have dealt with that, you don't want your children to deal with that as well. So if you're dealing with a narcissistic spouse, guess what? You got to be intentional on trying to help your children not to be narcissistic, because oftentimes they will model the behavior that they see. All right, so let's get down to it. Bullying is something I remember when I was in school, when I was a kid, and I didn't really deal with a lot of bullying, but I did see it quite often with other people. And a lot of times the bullies wanted to they wanted to go after the ones that they felt could not fight back. And this is even in adulthood. And believe it or not, some of those kids that were bullies in school became adult bullies. So we want to talk about that. If you have a child, or if you're dealing with it yourself through narcissism, through narcissistic abuse, through someone that's toxic, you might be dealing with this on the workplace, or should I say in the workplace. But this is a subject that you also need to talk to your children about. A lot of times children don't tell their parents what's going on in the classroom, or on the game, on the football field or something of that nature. Children often internalize things. They don't want you to be the one to go up to the school and say anything, because they're afraid that their peers are going to laugh at them and tease them, which is still another form of bullying. But even as an adult, many people that are being abused do not tell that they're being abused, because they're afraid of the reactions of people, or what people are going to think, what people are going to say, if they're going to be believed. So we're going to talk about that right now, starting with number one. And as always, I love to get this valuable information from, give you the source where I'm getting a lot of this information from, in addition to my own studies that I've done as a counselor. So this is bearthebully.org, bearthebully.org, and it has BARE, BARE, which stands for Bully Awareness Resistance Education. And this is a site that you may want to go to in order to get even more information when it comes to bullying, and how to help your children or yourself if you are dealing with someone that's being a bully to you. So number one, bullying is intentional. It is intentional. There's no such thing as, it was an accident or anything of that nature. When you have someone that singles out a person when it comes to trying to abuse them, then it is intentional. The victim, the target of the abuse, is not to blame. So if you are being victimized by someone that is abusing you, whether it's verbally, physically, sexually, financially, spiritually, cyber bullying you are not to blame. The bully is responsible for their actions. And we often say on this podcast that narcissists never take responsibility for their actions. So it is intentional. It's not something that is by accident. When you choose to do something harmful to an individual, such as bullying, it is intentional. Number two, bullying is aggressive behavior. It's aggressive behavior. That means that person goes out of their way to do something harmful to you. It is not provoked, all right? It causes it's violence. They can threaten you. It's often hostile. It's often forceful. They want to hurt you. They want to harass you. They want to terrorize you. They want to intimidate you. When you think of those that are terrorists, what do? They often go to people, places, or things that cannot have any type of defense on their or its own. So they're gonna try to find the weakest spot or the weakest link or whoever they feel might be a gullible or vulnerable target. Hitting is abuse. Name calling is abuse. You have a lot of people that call names. Let me use women for example. They might not always physically abuse, but a lot of them are emotional abusers. They're verbal abusers. They are verbal bullies. Another thing that bullies like to do, they like to isolate you and ostracize you away from other people. Okay, this is common when you're dealing with a bully, when you're dealing with a narcissist, when you're dealing with a person that is a toxic individual, that's an abuser. They like to threaten you. Okay, they will threaten you. They want to terrorize you. They want to put fear on the inside of you. They want you scared of them. Bullies operate off of fear. They want to instill fear in you so that they feel that, hey, if I can make this person afraid of me, then they will do anything that I want them to do. It's another form of aggression, and it's not always physical. Number 3, bullies seek power and control. That's the makeup of a narcissist. Nothing about what the bully does is innocent or if it's not even fun. All right, they want to watch the behavior of others. They want others to see them bullying you so they can put fear not just in the person who's the target, but they want that fear to spread around others. Have you ever noticed that as a child you might have seen a bully that always have a crowd around them? Now, if you take out the bully for as the elimination of the bully, whether the teacher get involved or the parents get involved, then that's normally going to cause the rest of them to disperse. So this bully seeks domination. This bully wants to control. This bully wants others to feel as if they are a threat. But once you take out the bully, whether it's the teacher, whether it's the principal, whether it's the parent that takes that bully aside and say this is going to end. Okay, even as an adult, once you eliminate that threat of that bully, and what I mean by that is you say, okay, this is not going to happen anymore to me, so therefore I'm taking myself out of this equation with this individual. I'm not going to allow this individual to be able to prey on me anymore. I'm not going to allow this person to bully me, to have power over me anymore, to have control over me anymore. I'm leaving this abusive situation. Then that you take away their power. Bullies want power. They want to feel like they can control you and they can dominate you, but you have to stand your ground. Number 4, bullying again may be physical, it may be verbal, visual. Physical bullies, they like to hit you. Okay, they like to kick, they like to push, they like to pinch, they like to shove, they like to pull, they want to restrain you. And then some of them go a little bit further when you talk about the sexual aspect of it. For it's rape, domestic violence. This is bullying. Someone that wants to control you, to dominate you, to keep you from being able to be free from their abuse. The bully, when you're talking about bullying, when it comes to verbal abuse, they want to insult you in front of others. They want to belittle you. They will run a smear campaign. They will gossip. They will threaten you. They will taunt you. Those are examples of when you're talking about bullying when it comes to the verbal aspect of it. Again, when you talk about sexual bullying, this is someone who is trying to sexually exploit you. They may put you into human sex trafficking, okay? They may even take advantage of you by sexually assaulting you. Another thing, when you're dealing with the visual of it, you have some that will even take pictures Okay, and this can go hand in hand with the cyberbullying. They'll take pictures and threaten to show and expose the pictures that they've taken of you, whether it was freely and you didn't know that they were going to do that to you, or they did it without you being aware of it. It's still a form of bullying. And what is it that these people that do this type of thing, or even the children that do it, what is it that they get out of it? It's because, first of all, they're insecure themselves. So therefore, they feel that I'm going to control somebody else. I'm going to dominate someone else. You also have this as an adult where they feel like, you know what, I don't have control over any other situation in my life. So therefore, I'm going to control the person who I'm with, or I'm going to control the person that's in my family, or I'm going to dominate. Most of these people are weak. They're weak-minded. And what do I mean by that? Anytime that you have to abuse someone else, that says something about you. And it's not good. It's not good at all. It doesn't feel good for the recipient. And it's not good for the person who is doing it. It's saying that something within you must be hurt, must feel empty, must be threatened. So therefore, in order for you to have control over your own situation, which you don't, then you try to control others. And this is not something that any child or any adult should have to go through. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back in just a moment.
There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying. Oh, when it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We keep on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We are a part of God's great big family, and the truth, you know, love is all we need. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me. Well, send them your heart so they know that someone cares, and their lives will be stronger and free, as God has shown us by turning stone to bread. And so we all must lend a helping hand. We are the world. We are the children. We are the one to make a brighter day. So let's start giving. Oh, there's a choice we're making. We're saving our lives. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me. When you're down and out, there seems no hope at all. But if you just believe, there's nowhere we can fall. So my world is realized, oh, that a time's gonna come when we stand together as one. We are the children. We are the ones to make a brighter day. So let's start giving.
and that is USA for Africa. We are the world. There were a lot of artists in that when it originally came out. I believe it was written by Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones, if I'm correct. Okay, so we're still talking about bullying. And bullying is not fun. Anyone who has been bullied, or if you're even dealing with it right now, you know that it is not something that is fun, and no one should have to go through it at all. But you have to take a stand to let that bully know that you will not put up with it. Number 5, cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is something that's new. When I was a kid, we didn't have all the technologies. Cell phones really start coming out when I was like a teenager. And so that's been a long time ago, but we didn't have all the different cell phones with the cameras and all that. And I can just imagine what a lot of kids may be dealing with today when it comes to cyberbullying, because there was no Facebook or Twitter or any of these Instagrams, TikTok, and all that stuff during the time when I was growing up. However, in today's time, children and adults are dealing with much more. So cyberbullying can come in the form of sending bad, nasty emails, phone calls, texting, putting things about someone on Facebook, Instagram, various internet sources and apps, and oftentimes the bully would try to do it anonymously. They don't want to be called out for what they're doing. But let me just say this, that we know that there are new laws now when it comes to this type of bullying. It is not acceptable. So if you're with someone, you may have maybe ended the relationship and they're running smear campaigns and things online. You can't too much do or deal with someone for as what they're going to say, but you can block them from your own social media pages and your apps. And let me just say this: if you have left someone that is abusive, don't scroll their pages. Don't go on their pages. Don't try to find out what they're saying, who they're with, and all these things. When you're cutting ties with an abuser, it is best to cut all ties with that abuser if you can. Now, if you have children with the abuser, then ask the court to give a mediator, someone who you have to drop the children off to, and they will take the children from there, or someone that will meet up with you on a weekly basis in order to make arrangements, or have a meeting place where you don't have to be alone with the abuser. You don't have to deal with any type of cyber bullying, or any bullying for that matter. Number 6, bullying, it can be discriminatory. Sometimes bullies, they have a problem with someone's race, religion, ethnicity, disability, various other things. So it's not that you are the problem, it's the person that's the problem. The person, you may not agree with someone, but you don't have to treat them nasty. You don't have to go out of your way to try to attack them, to try to do things to them, to cause harm to them. Bullying is not acceptable under no circumstances, whether you are an adult, a teenager, a child. There is no reason for anyone to bully another individual. And I'm going to say this to the parents: if you know that your child is dealing with bullying, there are things that you can do to try to protect your children, but first you need to talk to them. Always have that line of communication open. And if you yourself are being bullied, talk to someone, go to a counselor, talk to someone that you can trust, someone that can help you out of that situation. And I want to also give you all the contact information for the National Domestic Violence Hotline. The National Domestic Violence Hotline, their website is www.thehotline.org. Again, that's www.thehotline.org. You can call 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 1-800-799-7233. TTY callers 1-800-787-3224. You can also also chat live with them. They're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Text the word START to 88788. Again, that's text the word START to 88788. You can talk to counselors. You can talk to someone who can advocate for you, to help you to know what to do. If you're looking for any local providers or resources, you can go on their website or call or text and talk to someone so that you can get the help that you need. You never have to feel alone. And one thing, even when you're dealing with children and they're dealing with bullies, make sure that you allow them to come to you and know that there is an open door, that you do not have to go through this alone. Children, they don't want to be made fun of by saying, oh, you went to the teacher or whatever. But the thing is, some children have taken their lives because of bullying, and the parents may not have even been aware that they were going through it. And the saying that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me. Words do hurt. Words do hurt, and sometimes those words go into your adult life, and you're still remembering the bullying, the verbal abuse, and all those things that you dealt with. Words do hurt. And we should never tell a child, oh, don't worry about it. Oh, you just ignore it. No, yeah, you get to the point where we can say, don't worry about it. But then you have to get there. You have to get there. It takes time. So telling that to a child is not, yes, you can tell them to not stress out about it, but there are some things that can be proactive. And we're going to talk in the upcoming podcast about for us actually helping children when it comes to bully proofing your child, if there's such a thing, to help your child to be able to not be vulnerable to the abuse that a bully will give. We're going to take another quick break, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Well, there's a bridge and there's a river that I still must cross as I'm going on my journey. Though I might be lost, and there's a road I have to follow, a place I have to go. Well, no one told me just how to get there, but when I get there I know, 'cause I'm taking it step by step, bit by bit, stone by stone, yeah, brick by brick, oh yeah, step by step, day by day, mile by mile.
That is Step by Step by the late Whitney Houston. And when you're dealing with abuse, it is step by step. It is taking it day by day. And you might say, well, you know what, I just left this relationship, or either I'm on my way out of this relationship. And it's a step by step basis. But you know what the thing is that when you take the first step, then you are on your way. You are on your way. No one deserves to be abused. No one should ever have to go through abuse. But if you or someone you know is going through abuse, then there is help. Number 7, last but not least, bullying is not an innocent prank or pastime. Many people have been hurt by bullies, and bullying it does hurt, and sometimes it can keep on hurting. Bullies, those who have suffered from bullying, they may get depression, they may have had humiliation. Some people get PTSD with being around others. Some get anxiety when they have to go around crowds because of the emotional abuse that they have gone through. Some people have even committed suicide, and even children have committed suicide because of the bullying of others. And that's why bullying should never be taken lightly. It should never be taken as if, oh, it's just something that'll pass, or it's just a fad, a fad that person will go through. No, it is serious, and it needs to be taken as such. So if you or your child or anyone has gone through bullying, or even experiencing it right now, get the help that you need. Talk to a counselor. Talk to someone you trust, and so that you can get out of that particular situation. All right, we're up out of here. I pray that today's podcast has been a blessing to you, and that you would know, guess what? Your feelings, they do matter. This is Dr. K.O. Rich with Narc Abuse No More, helping you to admit what you feel in order to heal from the effects of narcissistic abuse. Until next time.